North Korea is the weirdest place on the planet. Everything is state-controlled, and the laws are made on the whims of just one person. Let's look at some of the weirdest things you will only see in North Korea. Let's dive in. Number 33. Abandoned skyscraper. Imagine building the tallest skyscraper in your country and never actually finishing it. Well, that is exactly the fate of Ryugyong Hotel. Located in Pyongyang, the capital of North Korea, this skyscraper was supposed to show off the thriving economy of the country, but it has done anything but that. Since its construction began in 1987, there have been several halts in construction. In 2013, the government tried to do a partial opening, but that too was canceled, and the hotel remains unopened to date, mainly operating as a billboard for North Korean propaganda videos. Number 32. Haircuts. Did you know you cannot select your own haircut in North Korea? Well, kind of. There is a pre-decided list of haircuts men and women can choose from, and, well, they are not exactly very flattering. Aside from the limited array of styles, men have to keep their hair less than 2 inches, and you cannot dye your hair or keep them spiky. For women, they are not allowed to keep long hair unless they are married, so their choices are even more limited than men. And if you violate any of these rules, you are deemed a socialist sympathizer, the punishment for which is not something a human ever wants to see. Number 31. The 3-generation punishment rule. What if you commit a crime and 3 generations of your family get punished? If that sounds unfair to you, you are not a North Korean at heart. Under the dictatorship, it is made law that if you commit a crime, like calling someone out of the country or listening to foreign music, you could put 3 generations of your family straight into a hard labor camp, or worse, killed off. Any kid born in the labor camp also falls under the generational punishment system. Worse still, the relatives of the criminal are often even not told why they are being punished. Wait, there is more. If your crime is bad enough in the eyes of the supreme leader, up to 8 generations of your family can get punished. Imagine that. Number 30. No blue jeans. In North Korea, you cannot wear blue jeans. The reason behind this ban is as absurd as the ban itself. You see, blue jeans, according to the North Korean ruling party, represents the imperial ideals of the United States. The ban is in place to restrict Western influence on the country's youth. And if you do break the rule, you have to go to court, where you have to confess in writing to your heinous crime of wearing jeans. After that, your employer is alerted to your imperialistic tendency of wearing jeans. The same goes for piercings, so those are out too. Not a fun place, am I right? If you think that's dumb, check out this next one. Number 29. Hate K-pop. K-pop is a huge no-no in North Korea. Kim Jong-un is strictly against it, and so no one in the country can watch or listen to it. Kim Jong-un has even called it a vicious cancer. Apparently, it affects the attire, hairstyles, speeches, and behavior of the youth. While the ban is absurd to say the least, its punishment is extremely severe. To date, there have been at least 7 people executed for listening to K-pop in North Korea. The harsh reactions come from the fact that K-pop is from South Korea, the bitter rival of North Korea. So, the country is adamant about preventing any ideals of the rival country from entering inside. Number 28. No outside music. It is not just K-pop that is banned, by the way. You cannot listen to any outside music from any other country. You must stick to the nationalistic songs from North Korea's government-controlled media agencies. And seeing how bad these songs sound, no wonder North Koreans keep trying to access outside music. Kim Jong-un has taken extreme measures to prevent that from happening. In 2015, all CDs and cassettes of foreign music were destroyed. And it is not just music that is banned. Number 27. 4 TV channels. There are only 4 channels available for North Koreans to watch. The cable in North Korea is managed by the Propaganda and Agitation Department, and those guys have carefully selected 4 channels to show their viewers across the country. And nope, nothing from outside the country. All 4 channels are state-owned, with 2 educational channels, 1 athletic channel for sports, and 1 channel for news. It's a pretty dull watching experience. Thankfully, this whole fiasco does not run throughout the day. Most of these channels run for a few hours on certain days. The residents cannot even bypass this since it is illegal to own any TV or radio that can tune into foreign channels besides these 4. I guess North Koreans don't argue much about which channel to watch on their TVs. Number 26, permission for computers. Moving on to TVs, even computers are highly regulated in North Korea. First of all, it is said you need permission from the government to even acquire a laptop or a computer. And if you manage to get one, you are still not free. All computers have to be registered with the government. Then they need to be inspected by the Ministry of State Security. Congratulations. You have a computer that cannot really do anything at this point. To get programs, you have to go to your Regional Information Technology Center. They will first block any programs not authorized by the state on your computer. After that, you can request legal programs and games to play and run offline. You will have regular inspections afterwards to ensure everything is running as the government intends it to. If you don't do the whole process, you can face severe punishments. Number 25, 28 websites. If you have a flashy new computer or phone in Korea, it's pretty much useless. Most of the population has no access to the internet whatsoever. Instead, they have a sort of replica of the internet that contains a grand total of 28 websites. Talk about variety. You can download books and media and go through educational content. You can also use email and some news groups, but that's about it. This knockoff internet is not used much by a lot of North Koreans because it is super expensive to have. Even if you can afford it, the value you get out of it is not worth it. Number 24. Arc de Triomphe de Kim Il-sung. Few people know this, but North Korea boasts the second tallest memorial arch in the entire world. Called the Arch of Triumph, this monument was built in 1982. And for North Koreans, it's a proud reminder of their liberation from the Japanese. The monument was inaugurated on the 70th birthday of King Il-sung, with each of its 25,500 blocks representing a day of his life. There are dozens of rooms inside, viewing platforms and elevators. Plus, the arch boasts a diesel generator to keep it powered up, even during the common power outages in North Korea. This is not the only architectural marvel of North Korea, though. Number 23, world's largest stadium. North Korea is also home to one of the largest stadiums in the world, the famous Run Grotto. First of May Stadium is the second largest stadium in the world in terms of seating capacity. Despite being so huge, the stadium is more often used for performances than for sports. During big events and festivals celebrating North Korea and Kim Il-sung, this stadium becomes a stage for all to see. Speaking of sports, did you know about this next fun fact? Number 22. New basketball rules. North Korea looked at the rules of basketball around the world and said, no thanks, we will have our own. And the rules they came up with are, well, unique to say the least. For instance, a slam dunk is worth 3 points, no questions asked. Plus a 3-point shot is worth 4 points if the ball does not touch the rim of the goal. If you miss a free throw shot, a point is deducted from your team's score. The fun does not stop there, however. If you make a field goal in the last 3 seconds of the game, it is worth 8 points. These games must be a wild ride, especially since according to North Korean rules, a basketball game can end in a tie. North Korea, you do you, pal. Let's move on before the basketball fans go insane. Number 21. Elaborate subways. The subway system in North Korea is surprisingly efficient. It has a funny story to it, though. At first, the North Korean government only opened 2 of the stops of the subway system to the public, so naturally the whole world started thinking this was an elaborate setup. But then the government opened all 17 and it was a rare win for North Korea, actually doing what it claimed. When you enter the station, you will hear patriotic songs being played on speakers, and each station has its own statue of Kim Il-sung. At least the place looks nice. Number 20. Underground bomb shelter. North Korea loves showing its bombs to the world, and in return, many countries have threatened North Korea with bombs of their own, and it seems Kim Jong-un is ready for the inevitable. You see the subways we talked about just now. They also function as bomb shelters. At the entrances of each station are thick metal doors, here to protect the residents if the worst happens. But are they really capable of sheltering the people? No one is sure. Number 19. Human waste as fertilizer. Now this is a wild one. Back until 2008, North Korea used to acquire fertilizer from South Korea. But then South Korea stopped providing the valuable resource, and suddenly North Korean crops were not doing that well. The government came up with a solution: have each citizen provide a specified amount of human manure to be used as fertilizer. And let's just say their demands are not always reasonable. For instance, in 2019, each able-bodied citizen was asked to provide 100 kilos of manure per day. You can imagine the panic. Some say this quota was set to get money out of the citizens in the form of fines. Yep. If you cannot provide enough of the good stuff, you must pay fines. The results have been less than ideal. People, even whole communities, fight over the waste from public toilets. Full-on territorial feces wars over there. Number 18. Luxury lives. Not everyone in North Korea has to fight over poop. A select few live a very luxurious life. It is not as much about money as it is about being closer to the big names in the government. And if you are among the lucky few, you can enjoy life like no other. Within the borders, of course. You can have a good home, be safe from starvation, and even get luxuries like a car. Compared to others, these people live like royalty. Number 17. Strong military presence. North Korea is a world of surveillance. The lives of its inhabitants are very, very closely monitored. They are not allowed much privacy even in their homes. Anytime you could be accused of a crime and raided. And all this is managed by the military. The military is everywhere in North Korea, not just at the borders. There are regular parades where the North Korean government shows off its military powers. Kim Jong-un rules with an iron fist, and his eyes are everywhere. Number 16. A surprising beauty. Despite all that is wrong with the country, North Korea is actually very beautiful. It is gifted by nature with gorgeous scenery and a breathtaking environment. Too bad not everyone gets to experience this dazzling display. Only a few foreigners are allowed into the country, with the borders sealed shut from both sides. Number 15. Cult of eternal leaders. North Korea operates more like a cult than anything, with its residents being forced into partaking in rituals of sorts. The North Koreans must cry and laugh at a moment's notice. They must not express their true feelings, instead only reciting what they have been taught. And if they fail to do so, the severest of punishments await them and their family. And all this is done on the whim of its leader, Kim Jong-un. Not only that, but these poor souls must also revere other figures, like the founder of the nation, Kim Il-sung. And the rules are severe. For instance, in North Korea, you must hang pictures of the supreme leader, Kim Jong-un, and Kim Il-sung. And if your house catches on fire, you must first save these two pictures before anything else. It's a cult in the true sense run by the government. Number 14. Social classes. North Korea has very strict social class structure, whose existence the government does not officially admit to. At the top is the core class. These are the people whose allegiance to the ruling party is undoubted. They enjoy a lot of luxuries withheld from other classes. Most elites and government officials fall in this class. Then come the wavering class, the people whose loyalty is not set in stone. They can be improved upon to make better citizens. Most citizens fall into this category. And the bottom of the ladder are the ones who break the law. Their fate is worse of the worse. And each one of these three classes has nearly 50 subclasses. And don't think this is just a status that does not mean anything. Citizens have their class registered with their identification records, and this status affects what education and job they can get. Number 13. Roads. Roads in North Korea are as much of a rarity as individual rights. You will barely find any solid roads outside of the big cities like the capital. In the whole country, only 8% of the roads are covered with a solid surface. Let that sink in. Now, that is not as much of an issue for two reasons. One, the transport outside of the country is heavily controlled by the government. You are not at liberty to come and go as pleased. As for number 2, that brings us to our next entry. Number 12. Barely any cars. North Korea has barely any cars. Unless you are ultra-rich, a politician, or in the military, owning a car is an unachievable dream. And with the lack of roads, I guess no one has any use of them either. So how do they travel? Well, normal people there use bicycles. Makes you wonder how people who cannot use a car go about their lives in North Korea. Number 11. Magic medicine. In terms of medicine, North Korea is miles ahead of the world. Or that is at least what they claim. The North Korean government claims to have cured a lot of diseases like AIDS, Ebola, and MERS. Not only that, but they have also found a way to ease cancer. Apparently, this miracle is thanks to a magic injection they have developed. The ingredients include gold, platinum, and a herb called red ginseng that is grown in Kaesong. Other conditions this medicine cures are morning sickness and sickness from working on the computer. Does it seem legit to you guys? The magic of North Korea does not stop there. What next is even more magical? Number 10. Unicorns. I'm gonna come out and say it. North Korea has unicorns, or at least a cave of one. The news started with the Korean Central News Agency, which claimed they found the creature's lair in Moranbong near Pyongyang, the capital. Now, they did not exactly claim it to be a unicorn, rather a chimera beast called Kirin, which is the Chinese version of a unicorn. Now, there is a reason behind this wild claim. North Korean government is constantly trying to create a link between itself and the ancient kings of Korea. And since the unicorn beast Kirin was ridden by King Dongmyong of Goguryeo, according to the myth, its lair being found near the capital serves as that link. Still, claiming to find unicorn caves is a bit of a stretch, isn't it? Number 9. Arirang Festival. Let's talk about the festival that has been given the Guinness World Record for being the show with the largest number of participants. And yes, it happens in North Korea. I am talking about the Arirang Festival. The festival takes place in Korea's largest stadium, and 100,000 people participate in it, and that excludes the spectators. As with everything else in the country, the festival is mostly about praising North Korea, its supreme leader, and its army. The main attraction is the live card display, where thousands of people collaborate together to create a live screen. Each flips their card at the exact same time, following a special signal. It's a sight to behold. Number 8. Happy Country. Now for the most interesting statistic ever. North Korea has been rated as the second most happy country in the world. It is only next to China. Don't believe me? Well, this survey is completely true according to North Korea. After all, it was conducted by North Korean scientists. Okay, you got me. It's North Korea saying North Korea is the happiest country in the world next to China. Inception on a country's scale. Of course, the claim is baseless, seeing how the nation is ruled by a totalitarian dictatorship. Who do they think they are fooling? Number 7. Choice of profession. Seeing the other lack of human rights, it should come as no surprise to know that in North Korea, the citizens don't get to choose what job they do. First, you must finish high school. After that, you must serve in the military. Men have to do this job for 10 years straight, while women get to leave once they are 23 years of age. Finally, their career starts. Only they don't get to choose. The state decides for them. Most get assigned farming and agriculture jobs. Others are assigned to be street sweepers, traffic workers, teachers, and factory workers, among other such jobs. Work hours are also predetermined, with usually 48 hours per week. Sometimes this gets raised, once even going to a 70 hours week in 2016. At least Sundays are off. Number 6. Talking badly of government. Saying something bad about the government in North Korea is a quick way to get booted to a labor camp. You cannot criticize the ruling party or the government officials, even a minor one, no matter what. Everyone must swear complete loyalty to Kim Jong-un. The oath includes obedience to the supreme leader, his family, and the state. And this no insult rule extends to foreigners visiting the place as well. So, don't even think about saying anything bad about Kim Jong-un on a trip to North Korea. Number 5. Talking on the phone. What's the worst that can happen if you make a phone call in North Korea? Well, an execution is a possibility. That's how severe a law is when it comes to foreign phone calls. North Koreans are not allowed to make phone calls outside of their country. Now, I am not talking about a phone call to some foreign authority leaking sensitive information or trying to escape. Nope. I am talking about just a casual phone call. Imagine facing such a punishment just for that. Number 4. Leaving the country. If a phone call can land you in trouble, imagine what an escape attempt will result in. There have been very few people who have dared escape from the prison country, North Korea. Very few have succeeded in their attempts, while most are gunned down. And recently, the security has tightened like never before, reducing the number of defectors even more. The poor people stuck inside have no way out. Number 3. No smiling. Imagine not being allowed to smile. That's the reality for North Koreans during certain days. You see, in North Korea, it is officially banned to smile during the 10-day mourning period of Kim Jong-il, the father of Kim Jong-un. Not only smiling, but you cannot go shopping, be loud, or have a celebration like a birthday party. If you do any of that during these 10 days, the military takes you away, and the person is never seen again. Number 2. No religion. No religion is tolerated on the borders of North Korea. The Jewish ideology focuses on self-reliance and no room is made for external influences, even religious in nature. Kim Il-sung saw religion as a threat, and he quickly dismantled religious institutions and persecuted believers. Now, the regime forces the people to, in a way, worship its leaders, Kim Il-sung, Kim Jong-il, and Kim Jong-un, as deities. All other religions are banned. Anyone caught practicing other religions is persecuted by being thrown in labor camps or executed. Number 1. Fake cities. The weirdest thing North Korea has ever done has got to be this. They built a whole fake city. While there are many fake cities in the country made to give the appearance of a prosperous nation, the most famous one is Kijongdong. Kijongdong is built near the demilitarized zone at the border of North Korea with South Korea. The city has been nicknamed the Propaganda Village. There are great-looking buildings, roads, infrastructure, the whole 9 yards. Only it is all fake. No one lives there, and even the buildings lack windows, glass, and interior rooms. Well, guys, that does it for this video. Which one of these North Korean facts did you know already? Let us know in the comments down below. We would love to. What your thoughts? If you enjoyed watching, be sure to like and subscribe. We have a lot more content planned for you, so stick around. Until next time, goodbye.